Welcome. Today, we're going to break down the high-stakes pressure campaign against Iran. We'll be looking at an analysis from Israel's Special Envoy for Trade and Innovation, Fleur Hassan. The whole idea is simple but powerful. What if you could take Iran's greatest advantage, time, and turn it into their absolute biggest weakness?
So how do you actually do that? How do you force a regime to negotiate when they don't want to? Well, according to this analysis, the Trump administration's strategy comes down to one thing: seizing control of the clock. For years, Iran has used time as its best friend, dragging out talks forever. The new goal is to turn that clock against them, and fast.
And this is where things get really interesting. The envoy, Fleur Hassan, puts it bluntly: the script has been flipped. You see, historically, Iran were masters of the endless negotiation. They could stretch things out for ages, knowing that time was always on their side. Well, according to this perspective, that whole era is over. Just look at the difference here. It's a total 180. Before, Iran had the luxury of time. Now, time is working against them. The pace is no longer set by Tehran. So, what's the main tool being used to make this happen? It all comes down to intense, targeted economic pressure. And that brings us to the centerpiece of the entire strategy: a powerful economic chokehold, a vice, really, applied at one of the most critical spots on the globe. The Strait of Hormuz. Now, this isn't just some shipping lane. For the Iranian regime, this is its economic lifeline. It's the primary way they get their energy out to the world and get money in. And that lifeline is now being squeezed hard.
And let's be really clear about this, because the envoy says this is the key to understanding everything. Energy isn't just part of Iran's economy. For all practical purposes, it is their economy. This is the money that funds their entire operation: the military, the proxy forces, everything.
So let's break down how this works. It's a pretty direct cause and effect. First, a U.S.-led naval coalition enforces a blockade in the strait. That means Iran's sanctioned oil tankers simply can't get through. And if the oil can't get out, the regime's only real income gets cut off. It's like turning off a tap. And when the money dries up, the funds for their military and their entire terrorist infrastructure, well, they start to evaporate. Now, all this pressure from the outside, what's it doing on the inside? Well, according to this analysis, it's creating some really deep, really serious cracks within the Iranian leadership itself. You essentially got two camps that are at odds with each other. On one side, you have the military hardliners, the IRGC, who refuse to back down. They're reportedly, quote, up a very tall tree. But on the other side, you've got political leaders who seem to get just how dire their economic situation is, and they're desperately trying to find a way out of this mess.
And to make matters even more chaotic, there's a huge question mark hanging over the very top of the leadership. The source points out that there are so many rumors swirling about the supreme leader's health that, quote, we don't even know if he's alive. That kind of uncertainty makes it nearly impossible for them to negotiate with one unified voice.
So, with all this internal chaos as the backdrop, the White House makes its move. And according to the source, this isn't some open-ended offer. It's an ultimatum.
An Axios report suggests the administration is playing this internal chaos to its advantage. The message seems to be, look, you guys are a mess. Get your house in order, come up with a single, coherent response, and do it now. And when we say now, we mean now. The U.S. official cited in that report said Iran has just 3 to 5 days to, quote, get their act together. That is an incredibly short window, a high-stakes tactic designed to force a decision, one way or another.
So you see, the ceasefire that was announced isn't some kind of olive branch. It's actually just another tool of pressure. Because every single day that this ceasefire is in effect, that economic blockade is still tightening its grip. This short deadline is designed to maximize that pain and stop Iran from just trying to wait it out.
And it's really, really important to remember this isn't just the U.S. acting alone, not by a long shot. The envoy describes a very broad regional coalition that is behind this strategy.
According to the source, you have a huge coalition of nations enforcing this pressure campaign. And you have to remember, many of these countries, like Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Bahrain, have been on the receiving end of Iranian aggression for years. So for them, this isn't just about abstract geopolitics. It's a unified front against a common threat. So when you put all these pieces together, what's the actual endgame? Well, from the envoy's perspective, the objective isn't just to get a better nuclear deal. The stated goal is far more fundamental. It's either the total submission of the regime or its complete collapse. So here we are. You've got a regime whose leadership is reportedly divided against itself. You've got an economy that has been absolutely crippled, and you have a clock that is ticking louder and louder every single minute.
The pressure campaign has brought the Islamic Republic to a major crossroads, and the question on everyone's mind is, what happens next?